Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome everyone for a new Bizagi Pulse session. This Bizagi Pulse session is a really special one. It is the one where we will be talking about our Bizagi Spring 2024, and that is why I want to welcome you and thanks all of you for being here with me today. For the ones that maybe doesn't know me, my name is Kevin Guerrero. I am the Director of Product Marketing here at Bizagi, and I'm so happy to be running this Bizagi Pulse session with you. So what are we going to be covering today? What is going to be our main objective? So the main objective is that you have an understanding of what it will be delivered to you in this Bizagi Spring 2024. We will be going through the version in a way that it is how we actually organize the development internally here in Bizagi since the moment that we actually become a cloud-only company. And it is that now we have everything in our organization is based on a strategic directives, right? We have been defining some strategic directives for us and our 4 strategic directives. So it's going to be AI productivity, modern experience, enterprise class, and finally governance. So the idea is that we go together into every single one of them, and we will see which features and which capabilities will actually be delivered there in every single of the elements that we got. So let's start a little bit with a context in terms of what has happened the last couple of years in Bizagi and which has been the big changes that we have applied into our platform, right? So it is important for us to just highlight these, let's say, milestones, right? Big stuff that has happened in our platform the last couple of years. So from 2022, right, Bizagi took a decision as an organization that it was to become a cloud-only company, right? That was a huge change for us. It was a huge decision that we wanted to do it at that point. We want at that time to actually be more efficient and even be more agile in terms of the innovations that we were able to deliver to the market. And we were completely sure that one of the ways on how we were able to do that one was only going through being a cloud-only company. Being a cloud-only company has been a whole journey. We have been taking a lot of our customers from on-prem to cloud. We have a lot of them already in cloud. We still have like some gap with some customers in Latin America, but a lot of our customers from the US, a lot of from the customers from EMEA are already in the cloud and are already getting all these benefits from the cloud at this point, right? Now, being in the cloud allow us to do or to just go faster in terms of the speed of innovation that we wanted to have in our platform. And that's why 2023 was a huge year for us in terms of the innovations that were presented and included into the platform. So on a spring 2023, it was the moment where we introduced Bizagi Apps, right? This whole set of capabilities, set of components that allow us to create contextualized and personalized experiences for the different personas that interacts with our application. Bizagi Apps is that place where we can modify the UI and the UX and create really amazing, really modern, and really innovative applications with this part. When we introduce Bizagi Apps, we introduce the capabilities as the Bizagi Experience Matrix, Bizagi App Designer, Bizagi App Launcher, right? And all these elements that allow us to create these applications. We have seen already some of our customers using this feature, this capability, and they have created really amazing applications with it. Now, if we move forward in fall 2023, we were able to introduce the first Bizagi AI assistant that was Ada, right? And with Ada, what we were adding is an artificial intelligence assistant that uses natural language. So it's on the hands of all end users, business users that are working on a daily basis on their application. What they are doing is just how they can understand much better what they are doing with their applications, right? So Ada, it is just one, let's say, a place where end users can go and ask any questions about their applications. How many customers we have, which is the top 10 of vendors that are selling more in this region, which customer has a vehicle loan and a credit card. All of this is going to just be the way on how ADA works. Because the great advantage with ADA is that our end user doesn't need to understand the complexities of how the data was modeled or created. They just ask in natural language, and ADA will give them the responses in a really easy and efficient way. And now in 2024, we will start presenting other innovations, specifically in the AI aspect, but also we will continue improving Bizagi Apps and other stuff, right? So Bizagi has defined from the same moment that we define that we will be a cloud-only company, the strategic directives. Why these are so important for us? Because the strategic directives are the ones that actually define even how internally in the organization we are working. So from the product team perspective, every single time that we start working in a new version, we have a list of a lot of features that we want to develop, right? Some of them came from the innovation. Some of them came from our research department. Some of them came from feedback from our customers. Some of them come from ideas from marketing, right? So we have a lot of sources of information of the features that we will develop. But now the way on how we are working is that every single feature that we want to develop and including the version must match or must fit into one of these strategic directives, because we are completely sure, or we want to be sure, that in every single version, we are delivering value to every single of these strategic directives with features and capabilities that we have. So right now, we have these 4 strategic directives. From one side is everything in terms of the modern experience, how we can allow our customers to create modern experiences. This is where everything in terms of the information of, for example, the Bizagi Apps, it's so important, right? Everything that we got for our Bizagi Apps fits into the modern experience strategic directives. Then we got everything in terms of the governance. And in terms of the governance, what we're talking about is how we can include in our platform built-in capabilities that allow our customers to have control over who is going to do what every single person can see, do, or perform, right? So it's like these guidelines or guide trays on how we have control over everyone that is working in our application, independently if they are end users or if they are basically developers or if they are the admins of the application. I don't care. What we care it is how we give governance to them. Then we got enterprise class. That is everything on how our customers can be much more independent, how they can do a lot of stuff on their own with some control, right? And reducing a lot of risk. How the platform provide a lot of capabilities and features to be a much more robust and integrate with much more systems. And before, we used to have the AI productivity as another, let's say, a standalone strategic directive. However, we have realized that the AI productivity is something that for sure is not going to be just one standalone. It is something that is going to be included in all the other ones. And that's why we are presenting now these strategic directives from this version in this, let's say, a horizontal way, because we are sure that it is going to come and have place in every single element that we got. So now, let's go and let's start talking about the version with every single of these strategic directives, right? So with this version, we're also including a whole new message in the market about Bizagi. And it is this idea of reinventing automation, right? Automation has been in the market for years, right? But we cannot deny that it needs a reinvention in this moment, right? So that's the concept that we wanted to put now in your mind, and it is reinventing automation with Bizagi, right? So how we reinvent the automation? Actually having this orchestration between multiple artificial intelligence, people, processes, system, data, bots, anything that an organization can have, but having in the middle, having in the heart that focus on end-to-end automation. We are completely sure that solving simple task problems is not enough for what organizations are needing today. So we need to have the whole picture, and that's why we're having this end-to-end automation, right? Also, we want to keep the pace with the AI innovation. AI is like the speed on how AI is moving right now in the market is insane. I don't know if you are aware or you are just following those news, but every single week we are seeing how I don't know, companies are developing new microchips to have much more speed in the processors to analyze the data that artificial intelligence needs. It looks like every single week there is a new version of a bar or ChatGPT or LAML, whatever of these artificial intelligence algorithms are there. And for sure, we want to focus heavily in how we use artificial intelligence power, but to provide first business results, right? Business value. And finally, we say that all of this will actually make sense only if we have really good advanced governance to ensure the privacy, the security, and the accountability on our projects. So now, if we jump into the first strategic directive, we will be talking about AI productivity, how all of this is going to work, what information we are getting into this particular point, and which kind of things we are going to have it here. So when we start developing our AI features, right, our AI capabilities, last year, what we decide or what we actually decide or took into this particular point, it is we are going to focus first of all into the business productivity, right? And one of the things that we're going to have it here, it is why not to just jump as other companies into the copilot, right? And at that time, our idea was this one, was like, look, the last 7, maybe 10 years ago, 10 years in the market, we have seen a lot of development in terms of how we can provide tools for developers to create applications faster. That is where everything in terms of the wave of no code, low code actually went in. So we say, yeah, copilots are good because at the end it's going to help organizations to create applications faster. But what if we just use something of the artificial intelligence, but to provide value to the business? And using this report from Gartner, we realized that actually we were not that crazy, right? Because now what we are saying here it is, what is the estimated value that you got when you apply artificial intelligence or generative artificial intelligence in the different business areas of the organization? What if you use artificial intelligence for coding assistance or for business productivity or for marketing content creation? And what we are saying with this study is that when you apply this one for business productivity, you are going to get an approximate value between $7,000 and $16,000 per user per year. So it's huge. This is the path that we want to have. So in this strategic directive, what we are going to have is this. Now, just a really quick clarification for everyone. When we're seeing these slides, that is what it is included into the version, just keep in mind this convention, right? Like an easy one. From one side, we're going to see that everything that it is going to just have this continuous line. It means that we are going to be talking about a whole new capability. When we got the dotted line, we're going to have an enhancement over an existing feature that we already got there, okay? So in AI productivity, in this Spring 2024 version, we will be presenting 2 new features and 2 new capabilities for ADA, right? So it will be everything about the dashboards and everything to the option to export to Excel. So for the ones that maybe are not really related with what is ADA, so let me just give a really, really high-level explanation of how ADA works and what is the analysis. So ADA was presented in fall 2023, is the first Bizagi AI assistant, and the main objective, for you just have an idea, is that with ADA, you can use natural language. This is for business users, right? So it means any users that are working in an application can go into one page where ADA is going to be located, and using natural language, we can ask anything we want to ADA about the business where we are working, right? So if I am working in a vendor management system, I can ask ADA, which is the top 5 of the vendors of this month? If I am working in, let's say, in an application that manage RFX, right? So ADA, which of my RFX will actually go overdue this week, right? If I am working in a bank, so ADA, which customers are riskier in Boston, right? And we can start asking questions to ADA. One of the great advantages from ADA is that business users doesn't need to understand the complexities of the data. They just ask in natural language. Ada will do all the complex stuff that requires to get that answer. So it's going to generate the queries, the SQL statements, whatever. Is going to join multiple tables, anything that is needed, but the user will not realize, and then present the response to the client. And that response will actually come automatically with actions, meaning that end users can even take actions immediately. So if I know that I want to see which are my top 5 vendors, automatically I can just go directly and take an actions over them. Like what? Like, let's say I want to just go right away and send, let's say, I don't know, an additional promotion code for them, right? Or give them an additional discount. That is what we got, right? So ADA was presented in fall 2023. That's where we present in ADA. But when we were presenting ADA, even last year, one of the most common things that people were saying to us or were asking to us is like, okay, you know what? This looks amazing. But what if I did a question to ADA that was so good that I say, you know what? I want to save this one. This is like a dashboard that I want to have for me fix it every single time that I enter into my application. So this is what we're delivering right now in this version. So in spring 2024, every single time that you ask something to Ada, now you will have the opportunity to save this one in a dashboard. And the concept of a dashboard is that you will be able to create as many dashboards as you want. And inside every single dashboard, you can have as many items as you want. So what is the meaning of this? That on the left side, you are going to have now your dashboards, right? You can create here as many as you want. But if, for example, right, you got one dashboard that allows you to see everything in terms of the car loans. So within that dashboards, you can save multiple questions that Ada give you the response, right? So not only one, but multiples. Give me the percentage of house loans per country. And now give me the top 5 countries with the most mortgage loans. So I can start organizing my dashboards in any way that I want. So in this way, every single time that I enter into my application, I already have those dashboards with me with no problem, right? Now, additional of this one, probably was the second step that a lot of our customers were asking to us is, okay, I got now this one, and what if I want to download all this information to Excel, right? So we say, yeah, you know what? We don't have any problem with that. We will give you this. So now every single response that you got from Ada will have now the opportunity to just download all the data to Excel. And in that way now from the business perspective, you can just, I don't know, do the matching, do multiple tables, merge, VLOOKUP, whatever you want to actually analyze data in a deeper way, right? Now, in AI productivity, we're going to be presenting something also completely new, and it is going to be the concept of AI agent. This is probably one of the most important features that we're presenting in this version, right? So let's go deeper into what is this and how you can actually use AI agents to actually optimize and to empower value in your business. So let's start understanding what is the concept of an AI agent, right? So for understand what an AI agent is, I always use this, let's say, analogy, right? And it is that every single one of us on our daily basics, I'm sure we have a lot of friends, family, contacts, people that can help us in different situations. And from that, let's say, network of contacts that we have a specialized person or specialized people that if something is happening to us, we know that they can help us, right? So imagine that one day you just wake up and you start feeling not so good, right? I don't know, your throat is burning, you have like maybe some flu, and you're like, no, I don't know if this is okay. So I'm going to call, let's say, my cousin because he's a doctor, and I'm going to ask him what is happening, right? Hey, look, I'm feeling this and this. What is your advice? Or maybe we want to just make a really local or really traditional recipe in the kitchen, and I don't remember all the ingredients. So I need to call maybe my grandma, and I need to ask her, hey, can you please give me how many onions do I have to put, or how many chicken is, or whatever we want to do to just make the cook. So this idea is that in all the contents, in all the network of people that is around you, you have specialized people that are really good on doing something, right? If you have, I don't know, if you want to decorate your house, so probably you're going to call someone that it has that really artistic part in their lives. Or if you have a security problem, you just call the police. Or if there is a fire, you call the fireman. So you know who to call when you got it. So the idea of AI agents, let's say it's based on this one. And it is, we can now have agents that use artificial intelligence to be really good in something specific that we want. Something specific like what? These are some of the business cases that we are starting to see for the agents. Hey, I want to have an agent that allow me to translate from one language to other languages. Which ones? I don't know. I don't care. But usually in my process, I need something that allow me to translate from one language to the other one. Or I want one agent that allow me to prioritize information. Or I want one agent that allow me to summarize data that I have in some documents, right? So I don't know, maybe I go to a meeting, I have the meeting notes, and I don't want to just read, 40 pages of the meeting notes. I want one agent that allow me to summarize. Or I want one agent that allow me to create lists or to categorize. So what we are presenting in this version of Bizagi Spring 2024 is the idea that you can create now AI agents using multiple assistants, and I'm going to go into that in a couple seconds, and then use your AI agents in your processes. So it means that the idea behind of AI agents is that now you can have the power of generative artificial intelligence embedded in your processes. So now what we are going to start seeing is like a pattern where we got a lot of AI agents doing different tasks and maybe one human person doing a review, right? We were presenting this to some of our customers a couple of weeks ago, and one of them gave us like a good also explanation of this one. And it is like the agents are going to be now the makers, and persons or human persons will be now the checkers, right? So agents will do a lot of stuff, and I need someone to actually check that everything that agents did was correct. So that's the idea, how we can add the power of generative artificial intelligence into our processes with AI agents. So what we are going to do with this one, right? So what we're introducing into the platform. So first of all, we're introducing a whole new section that will allow us to create the AI agents. In order to create AI agents, you just need to define two simple stuffs: the name of your agent and a description. And that's it. Because once that you define the name and you define your description, that are these two first part, we are adding and we are offering to you something that is called the prompt assistant. So what is the prompt? And I don't know if I guess that you have been playing around at some point with ChatGPT, and you have realized that it's completely different when you ask ChatGPT, let's say, give me the recipe to do a cake, and that's it, right? Then if you actually go and say, I need that you act as a, baker, right? And I need that you help me to create a cake for 25 people. Some of them, let's say, are allergic to gluten. I want to have chocolate on it. And as much detail that you give to ChatGPT, better response you are going to get. So that idea of the information that you are giving to the artificial intelligence is what it is called the prompt. So what we are doing here is that you don't need a prompt engineer, you don't need a data science engineer. You just define a name, you just define a simple description with natural language, and we are offering you the option that automatically with one click, we will generate the prompt for you. How we are going to generate that prompt? Following even a methodology or a framework on how good prompts looks like. So usually what we say is that a good prompt should always be should be as specific as possible and needs to have the full context of where are you working and what you are doing. Most of the prompts that are good will have these sections. So it is who is the agent acting as? So it's like, I want that you act as a, let's say, translator, right? Now, what is the situation that they are? You are working in a financial institution that handle information from the customers. Usually you got, I don't know, names, emails, address, credit cards, balance, whatever. Then what do you want that the agent does for you? I want that based on some text that you receive, you translate that one into one specific language that we can define it over there, right? So we are just getting into all the information, this specific path into the elements that we're going to get it here, right? Now, so that prompt system, as soon as you just click on the prompt system, what it is going to happen is that we will generate one prompt for you that follow every single of these good practices in prompt generation. And additional of that, the prompt will automatically identify the variables, what information is required for this agent to do their work. Something really important to clarify is that in this Spring 2024 version, the agents are going to be used just for text generation, right? So our agent will receive text, and as a response is going to generate text. The idea is that with the time we evolve these agents to later have, I don't know, images or video or audio, but for now it's just text to text, right? So we identify the variables that are required for the agent to do the work. And even on top of that, we are giving you the opportunity to test your prompt just right away with one click. So it means once that the prompt is defined, then you can click on test your prompt, complete the information of the input variable that has been automatically identified, and then check which type of result you are getting. The huge advantage is that you can just go and tune in your prompt until the moment that you are sure that you are getting what you want. Once your agent is done, once that you finish the creation of your agent, that's it. Because then you can just go and use in every single process that you want in your organization. So we follow the same idea of building once and then use it everywhere. As soon as you've built that agent, then you can go to your processes and start adding the agents in your processes. The way on how we have added or we are doing the inclusion of the agents in your processes is that we have created a new task in process diagrams that it is the AI task, right? This is to simplify and to just clarify exactly where AI agents are actually taking part of your processes, right? Now, what we're seeing in terms of the potential is a lot of business cases, right? Categorize data, maybe data discovery, maybe just have match and merge. We are exploring a lot of these AI cases or generative AI cases with our agents. And we are adding these AI agents as one additional piece of our reusable elements. So again, you can continue using and creating all your personalized experience. You can combine Bizagi apps, and now you can include these reusable AI agents in your pictures. Something that made us really happy is that when we saw what is the huge potential of AI right now and even in the future, this is something that we found from Gartner too, and it is, look, they say that in the future, some of the most important things that artificial intelligence elements will provide value for organization is probably when you got augmenting analytics, that is everything that we do basically with ADA, and assisting in reporting interaction with customers, that is everything that now we're introducing with the agents. So just for you to see this working and running and just see how everything is going to look like in our product, let me just show you really quickly one basic and simple example, but really clear example for everyone to understand the power of the agents. So we have this lending example. It is an application where we manage customers, claims, complaints, card, loans, accounts, applications. We have different personas interacting in the application. But for this example, let's just focus 1 second in what it will be Sarah Morgan, our lending manager, that manage and control complaints, right? So that complaint process right now without AI agents, works like this. So one customer can send an email to create a new complaint, right? Using Bizagi triggers, we identify automatically one of those emails and we create a new case in Bizagi based on that email. But right now, in that email, it is possible that the customer is adding, let's say, a private information, right? Sensitive information. Maybe the credit card number, or maybe the account number, or maybe the balance, something that we don't want that it would be too exposed for a lot of people. So right now what we have is there is one employee within our organization that go and gets that email from the customer and hide or obfuscate data that is private from the customer. Then Sarah needs to go read that email and start writing a reply, right? This is our current scenario and how everything looks like and how we have it here. But now, what if we add agents into this scenario? So now what it will happen is that we can have two separate agents here. So the same customer is going to send the same email. Bizagi triggers will create a new case, but now we have two agents working at the same time. From one side, we're going to create one agent that it is going to be an obfuscator. The job of this obfuscator user is to read the original email of the customer, identify the private information from the customer, and respond with an email that has exactly the same structure of the original email, but with the private data fully obfuscated, right? Then I have another agent working in place, that is the email specialist. The job of this agent is to receive one email as an input and then suggest one email as a response for that email, right? So now what it is going to happen is that when Sarah enters into what she has to start doing or what she needs to start working, she is going to have already two elements complete on her side. She is going to have an obfuscated email and even a suggested reply email for that part. So it means that Sarah only needs to just decide if the suggested email is okay or if she wants to do some additional amendments or not. So let me show you really quickly how this looks like in our product, right? So how this is going to look like when we're working directly in our Bizagi application. So in this moment, what we have done in the development section is that we have created within the expert view the new section that it is called AI Hub. In this AI Hub, we are going to have multiple ways to organize our agents. So here we will be able to have multiple folders and organize exactly the elements that we got it over there. To start creating a whole new agent from scratch, you can just come here, start creating the new agent and select what you got. And if you go into the configuration of the agent, this is how it looks like. So the two only elements that you have to complete, it is the name of the agent and then a really easy and using language, natural language description of what you want that the agent does for you. When you click on the prompt assistant, this prompt is automatically generated for you, right? And take a look that we follow here all the best practices for this prompt. So it's like you need to ask or you need to act as an obfuscated, especially your main work is that you are going to get an email that replaces all sensitive information from the customer. And even take a look at the power of the prompts that we generate. It gives you instructions step by step, even one example that say this can be one example of how the data from the customer will be. And your idea is that you then regenerate this one as a response. And if I want to test it, I can just go take a look that down here. It identified that the variable for this one to work, it is the email. And if I want to test it, I can even go and test it just right away, right? So all of this is the power of the AI assistant creation for your agents. Once that the agents are created, then what we have done is that in our processes, we have added this AI task. And the configuration of the agents later, it is just using the common and the usually, let's say, wizards that we have already in Bizagi. So we select the agent that we want. We can do the inputs and the outputs according to the variables that were identified in the creation of the agent and which one is going to be the result of the agent at the end. And now, from the end user perspective, this is what we're going to see now. So now, when Sarah logins into the application and goes directly into the complaints page, she's going to be able to see, and it is going to be so natural for her, but it's going to save her a lot of time. So if I got this email and say, hey, I want to see what this complaint is about, we will see here that natural there is one agent already working in place. Why? Because I have my complaint, I have the email, but when I go and read the email, take a look at the data that it is included in the email, it is already obfuscated, right? So my credit card number does not display all the data, even my account number, even the phone number. And of course, I can customize this. If I want to obfuscate just, let's say, the credit card, but I want to see the full phone number, I can just say that one in the prompt creation, and that will be everything that we got. And the other agent will work for her when we want to respond a claim, right? To a complaint, sorry. So when we go to respond the complaint, when Sarah enters into that complaint, she is going to see the response tab with one email already suggested. This was not done by Sarah. This was done by the email specialty agent. And once again, here is where we got these makers and checkers. So the agent make the email, and now Sarah needs to check if actually that email that was made by the agent, it's good enough for her, or if she wants to do some amendments. But if you see, we're giving this power that you can create as many agents as you want, and you can add them in every single process that you are working and at every single place that you got. We believe that the potential of our agents is huge. We believe that once that you start working with this, you will even find much more business cases that will give you a lot of value to your organization. And we cannot wait for you to start playing around with our agents and to do all the stuff that we want. So this is huge. This is the big, let's say, capability that we're delivering in this version on Spring 2024. Now, let's go and take a look to the other ones, right? So when we're talking about now modern experience, this is where we will be presenting in modern experience. So modern experience, again, take a look at here. We have the continuous light as new capability and the dot line that is for enhancement. So in terms of enhancements, we got a lot of feedback from a lot of our customers when you start using Bizagi Apps, right? So we have taken all the feedback and we have done multiple improvements and enhancements within our application, right? And it doesn't mean that we will stop there. We will continue getting more and more and more and more and more enhancements to make Bizagi Apps as flexible and as powerful as you need. But just for you to have an idea, what we have added here, we have included additional layout options, right? Inner layout control, new table control, right? And all of this is that you have the possibility to create your applications having more flexibility in terms of the layout that you want to use in your application, right? So all of that is going to be available for you. We have included multiple enhancements in the way on how the application looks like when you are working in mobile devices, right? Having this 60/40 layout and even some drawers that it's going to look like for you. We have update even the way on how forms looks like when we are working in our application. And finally, we have included 2 additional actions when you are creating your apps. Right now, we used to have just one action that was the process action, that it is when I was creating the application, I want to start a new whole process. However, we heard from some of our customers the need of having these form actions and rule actions. So now what it is going to happen is that you don't need to have all the time processes. Sometimes maybe you just need one form to pop up or a single page application where you can update some basic data, right? So if you have the list of your customers and you just want to update some customer information, you don't need to have a whole process for that. You can create a form that shows you the information of that client, do the update, and that's it. And the same for the rule actions. So if you want that one of your customers is now a VIP customer or a premium customer, you don't need to have a whole process to just do that to the customer. Now you can just execute a business rule and that's it. And finally, what we're including in this modern experience is also everything in terms of the Tableau integration, right? When we present Bizagi Apps in the spring 2023, last year, we did introduce a native integration with Power BI. What we are doing now is that we are also offering now a native integration with Tableau. With these two, Tableau and Power BI, we're covering a huge space in the market on the reporting part or the data analytics. We know that there are still some additional ones that are missing. We're working on them, but with Power BI and Tableau, we're covering a huge space now. The reports that will be embedded, or the Tableau reports embedded in our application is going to look like this one. Is going to follow the same approach. So you do the technical integrations and configuration in Bizagi Studio, and then following a no-code approach in the app designer, you just drag and drop the report, you select which report you want to see, you select which page you want to have it, and then you have all the configurations that you got it there, right? For mobile devices, I was telling you this one, so we will have this mobile drawer that allow you just to expand and collapse data when you are working in some of your applications. It's give you much more flexibility and easy access to the most important information that you want to work in your application, right? Now, from the enterprise class perspective, the enterprise class strategic directive, we will be presenting this setup enhancements. So with enterprise class, remember that this is where we want to provide a lot of features and capabilities that allow you to be independent in a lot of things, right? At the end, our objective is that we can give you that power so you can control your environments and your applications in any way that you want without the need to maybe go and create a support ticket or wait for cloud operations to do something for you. So in enterprise class, we're giving you a lot of capabilities for you to be independent. So you will be able now to have a self-service restart of the web apps. So you can go to the management console. From the management console, you will have an option. And now you can restart your web apps. Sometimes it was needed for a customer to just restart one of the web apps. And we just want to give you that for you to do it at any time that you want. You can do now on-demand data replication. So once again, from the management console, you can go, click something, and just do the data replication when you want it. You can control now your whitelist completely independent. You can schedule your maintenance tasks, and you can even do some web services, securities, and administrations for yourself, right? In this enterprise class, one of the new capabilities that we're adding into the version, it is a new let's say option within that group of capabilities that are called triggers and actions. If you are not familiarized with triggers and actions, let me give you a little idea of this one. We introduced last year the email trigger. So the idea with the email trigger is that if customers were having some commodity bots that allow them to create cases automatically when an email is received, we want to help our customers to improve their ROI, basically with giving you one capability within our platform that allows you to do that automatically without the need of the bot, right? So what we got at this in this version, it is that we're adding a new one. Which one? The one that is called now the file trigger. So the file trigger, the way on how it is going to work is that now we will be able to connect to two different file storages in this version. One, it is SharePoint and OneDrive for business, and the other one, it is Dropbox for business. And what we will be doing is that Bizagi will connect to those file storage, and it is going to be constantly checking for new files in that file storage. As soon as a new file is added into the file storage, we trigger something in the platform, and we can automatically start a new case, right? Or even if a file is being modified, we can just create a case for that one. So a lot of companies or a lot of institutions have this kind of scenarios, right? So if I don't know, financial institutions are doing the closing one day and they generate the final document, they upload it somewhere, and as soon as that closing document is uploaded, we can start doing the consolidation of data, right? So what we can do is like upload that file there. As soon as it is being uploaded, we can identify that change and automatically start the consolidation process for us, right? In this version, what we will be doing is just adding this file trigger in the same section as we have it, the email trigger before. So it is going to be under the expert view. We are providing services to connect to SharePoint for business or Dropbox for business, and that configuration is going to be really simple. It is going to be just include the client IDs, client secrets, set up some information, and then what it happens when a file is being added here. Which process do you want to start? And in that way, we automate this part, right? Now, finally, what we got in our strategic directives is everything in terms of the use or everything that it is going to be added into this particular point, that it is going to be the governance, right? And when we're talking about the governance, keep in mind that it is how we can control that in the execution of multiple projects, we have control of who is doing what, who can see what do you want to do, right? So all that information, it is going to be like really important for us in terms of the governance. In governance, we have been improving and developing a lot of capabilities in the last couple of versions. Even starting from Spring 2023, we provide you some out-of-the-box profiles for developers. So if people were working in Bizagi Studio, we provide you some out-of-the-box profiles. In fall 2023, we give you the option to create as many profiles as you want. Now, with the Spring 2024, we continue with the idea of the profiles, but now we put these profiles in a different place or in a different application, that is the management console. So in the management console, that is that tool that we use to manage and control our environments, now you have the possibility to create profiles. So in that way, you will have the opportunity to have this granular control over permissions of who is doing what in your management console. So it can happen that you don't want that everyone is doing, let's say, I don't know, deployments, or you don't want that everyone is doing maintenance windows. No, you just want to select who can actually do that, so you can create now these profiles. Also, we're adding a really good capability in this particular version, and it is the enhanced auditing. This is something that will allow you to see in detail change of the, let's say, a historical place where you can review what have changed in your development environment, particular in everything in terms of your business rules and even in your forms. This is really good when you have a big development group, right? Now, in every single subscription in Spring 2024, you are going to have this build page. The build page is where you can download your Bizagi Studio, where you can do some basic configurations on your project. And now we have added this section that is the auditing for the Bizagi Studio, right? When you enter into that page, you will be able to select what changes you want to see. If it is a business rule, if it is a form, and you will be able to see in detail these kind of tables. So when it was modified, who did the change and what they did it. If they did a modification of the business rule, a modification of the form, or if they even delete it, right? And if it is a modification, what you will be able is to select those elements and then compare to see in detail what it was changed. So you are going to have one business rule or one form next to the other one and start seeing what happened, what was added, what was deleted, and start seeing if maybe there is something that was not working as expected, how you can actually fix it or going back into what you got. So this one is also amazing in terms of big development group where you got this, okay? So guys, with this one, we're getting close or we're getting into the end of our session. I want to thank everyone for your attention. Thank you so much for being with us on this Bizagi Pulse session. I hope that you find really helpful all the information that you have here. And if you see, we're really excited for you to start playing with this Bizagi Spring 2024 version. The version will be available at the end of this week, so it means in 2 days you can start playing around, and we cannot wait for you to start playing with this version.